And hello, this is Meet the Candidate. My name is Renee Boyston Hill, and it's my pleasure to welcome today Mr. Tony Moore, candidate for House Seat 8. And how are you doing today,
Very well,
Mr.
thank
Moore?
you.
Okay, so we're going to get started with some of the questions so that we can let our listening audience know a little bit more about you. So, what is your personal background?
Education, all my life, an educator. Started out very early as an educator. After I worked for the town of Winnable, and been a business person for the last 30 years. I own North Carolina Driving School that services 40 school systems in North Carolina for the last 30 years.
Okay, and what are your qualifications, or what makes you a good candidate for the House Seat 8?
Well, I started out as a precinct chair at Arthur Precinct back in the 70s. And then in the 80s, I became precinct chair in Winterville. I worked at polls in Belle Arthur in the late 70s, 8 years at the polls, and then became head of the Young Democrats at the age of 33 years of age. They were going to fold, and I took it over, and it grew. Also, I was secretary-treasurer of the 1st Congressional District, Young Democrats. And I worked for many candidates before I started running. And this is my 19th campaign.
Wow. Okay, so there's something that draws you to politics. I guess, do you have what made you want to go into politics or get involved?
I met Rob Lee Humber, former state senator. He served 3 terms, and at the age of 8, I used to wash and wax his 1954 Cadillac every Saturday at my father's gas station in downtown Greenville. And I read about him and had been a history teacher, history buff. And my father-in-law served in town of Winnable beginning in 1941 until 1962 as a council member and mayor. Then he served the draft board from 62 to 72. Then he served as a county commissioner from 1972 to 86. And I'm proud of his record. He was an admirable man. He even put it with me as a son-in-law.
Okay, so so tell us what would be one of your major focuses on if elected into the House Seat 8?
First off, better health care for our people of our state. We've got to do a better job than we're doing now. Also, nursing homes. I used to be in the state commission agent when I was a state senator, and nursing homes needed a lot of help. I'm also a Gideon, and we get a chance to visit nursing homes, and there are many needs there. And I have a mother who was involved in an accident when I was 16 years old, so the next 43 years I was in and out of nursing homes and mental institutions. And health care is my big beef. Of course, we all have trials and tribulations of health in our time at my age, and mine was cancer. I fought cancer from 2011 to 2018. Now I'm free of cancer.
Okay,
My
very
mother,
good.
my mother and father died of heart disease. I take no medication each day, thank goodness. I learned from their bad habits to eat well and do the right things in life. But healthcare, number one. The second would be education. We need a better job of educating people. Without a good education, people won't be successful in life. I grew up as a very poor student. My mother only had a 7th grade education, and she had me at the age of 15 years of age. I probably should not share that, but very young back then. And I did not do well in the 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. But I met my wife in the 6th grade. Smooth sailing since then. I met her at the age of 12.
Okay.
Married at the age of 19. But education would be number 2. Number 3 would be jobs. Good quality jobs. We have not had a major manufacturing plant come to Greenville in quite a while. And we need more higher paying jobs in our county. To have those people come in, we have to have jobs for those people. And those people have to be educated, well enough to be trained to do things. And those are 3 major. I worked at Pitt Community College for 10 years back in the 75 to 85. And it's a great place to go to school. I went there briefly. And learn how to learn a trade, or everybody had to go to college. They learn a trade, make more money many times today. Ask your plumber what he charges per hour.
Right.
Or your electrician these hot days. Who's your best friend? An air conditioned person. When he comes to your house, you haven't been out of air conditioning for a few hours, you say, "Welcome to my house."
That's right.
Best like people.
Okay, so what area? Tell us how do you plan on reaching your candidates or your constituents in this time where there's a lot going on, where we are distancing ourselves, we're wearing masks. What's going to be your best method for reaching out to your constituents?
I've always enjoyed going door to door and can't do that anymore. There's nothing more enjoyable than meeting people as you go door to door during campaigns. And now I have to change to use the media, social media, Twitter, Facebook, TV ads, and mailers. Campaigns are very expensive if you want to win. It's sad to say that in all these campaigns they get more expensive all the time. But hopefully my other campaigns will have helped me people who have known me and what I would do as elected official.
Okay, so what area, and what's the district that you, what does District 8 cover? What areas does it cover?
First, you would say from Winnable north along the left side of Highway 11, which is the west side of Highway 11, up to Bethel, and it includes Stokes. The part of Greenville that includes is you would on Highway 11 you make a right on Dixon Avenue. You encompass East Carolina University campus on the north side of the 5th Street to the river. It's a very unique district, brand spanking new, so people will probably not know who's running because the maps have not been shown very little in the newspapers. I wish more people knew the districts. Okay. It's sad how few people do vote. Earlier I talked about in my last campaign in Winnable back in last year, 2019, and one precinct had 2,300 people. Only 4% of the people in that precinct voted. Another precinct had close to 3,000, 19% voted. 19, that means 81% stayed home. And the precinct I live in, which is from Cooper Street north, only 15% voted. So that means 96% stayed home in one precinct, 81% stayed home, and 85% stayed home. That's not good numbers. We hope people will come out this time.
Okay, and back then we didn't have the challenges that we're going to be having for this election, so we need to make sure that we get everyone out there because their vote counts, and not only you but everybody wants to vote. We want all people to participate. So let's see, what else can we talk about today? What else would you like our audience?
I live in the town of Winterville, but I grew up in Greenville. I attended 3rd Street School for 6 years, and then my parents split up at the age of 12. Then I moved to my grandmother's farm on Highway 264. Attended Jarvis Memorial Church, and most important thing you need to know about me is I walked to church myself at the age of 8 years of age, the Jarvis Memorial Church. Sang in the choir then. People said you never heard me sing. I don't sing. But I walked to church at 8 years old and met the Lord at that early age. So He's walked with me and taught me in my entire life. And not many people can say that, but I can absolutely say that. I had a good life living in Greenville. I enjoyed Greenville. And my wife happened to live in Winnable, and that's where I moved to back in '89.
Okay, so
I attended school. I should have said that. I graduated 10th from the bottom of my high school class. Again, 10th from the bottom. And I went to college and transferred. I graduated 5 times. I said a positive thing, 5 times. And I attended 6 schools, transferred 18 times for my first of 5 degrees. Took 1 course in college, more than I have fingers.
Okay.
Challenge. But when I went to Carolina in 1970, 50 years ago, I didn't need that course.
Okay.
But when I went to Appalachian State, I had to have the course. And I was not able to get into East Carolina University at that time, so I went to Appalachian State. And the town of Winnable sent me to school because I worked for them for 3 years. I worked for them for 3 months, and they said, I said, I'd like to go back to school. And they said, yes, I'll learn how to be a town manager and a town planner. And so I came back afterwards and worked for them for 3 years, and then gave them 2 more summers after I became a teacher. And I taught school first in 1992, and at that time I taught 5,000 students. And then I returned back to Pitt County Schools in 97 to 2000, for 3 years. And my job then was to take away people's license who didn't make certain grades in high schools. That was a real challenge.
I'm sure. Nobody wants to give up.
Like
as hard as it is to get, nobody wants to give up a license, I'm sure.
No, we in today's time, in 1974, Greenville did not have a police officer. So one of my jobs was to drive the police car around. And it's tough today to find a police officer. But back then it was even tougher.
Okay, so just tell the audience that for all your life experiences, what was your most accomplished? What did you feel that you really, that gave you a smile when you think about, and you want to continue doing that for? Because it seems like you're into service. So what would you like to do?
I'd like the people to know that you can do so much for your fellow man. You could help them, those who don't have the finances, get additional resources to help them with their health care issues. You can help the people like I did in the Senate who went to prison and they want to be moved closer to home. So you would call the prison department and ask them at that time to move them closer to home. And roads need to be fixed. People call you. Constituent service is so important. And being a house district is much smaller, but still it's just as important. We need road money in Pitt County. There was an article years ago that Pitt County was owed hundreds of millions of dollars of road money it did not receive. And we never received our fair share. In 2003, we passed the Southwest Bypass bill, but it wasn't funded until 4 years ago. All those years, you didn't have representation. And roads are important. Good roads save lives. Pitt County has too many four-way stop signs. We need traffic circles. Up to 2 years ago, Greenville was considered the most dangerous town in Pitt County as far as traffic accidents. It's getting better, but we still need better roads to make it safer for people. I'm in the driver education business now, and I know roads can determine whether someone dies or lives in an accident, how they're built. And this Southwest Bypass does save lives. My most important accomplishment as a state senator was the Heart Center. It was a $60 million bill to aid VITA into building a heart center, which today is one of a kind. It's a beautiful facility. And we couldn't get enough votes to pass it in 2003, but 2004 I was successful. I piggybacked on with Clark Jenkins, who was a senator at that time. You can't do bills by yourself, you have to piggyback with other people. I also got passed a bill that for Veterans Day for North Carolina. Before I was in the Senate, veterans would not have a parade because schools were in session. And so one of the bills I did was to make all state employees and students take off Veterans Day every single year. And my father being a veteran, he went to these, he was very proud of that. He went to the service at the age of 16, and they sent him back home. He went to Raleigh. At 17, he went back and joined the Navy. He was proud of his service to country. When I came along with the Vietnam War, and I don't have the physical feet, they say. I have flat feet, so therefore would not be qualified to be a military person at that time. I understand the conditions have changed since that time. But look at my record. Look at my character. Don't judge me by the color of my skin. Not like you, but just judge me on my character and what I bring to the table, what I've done for my fellow man, what I've done for the citizens of Greenville during these 6 terms that I've been in office there. Lowered utilities, my second year, 35%. Went from a town clerk government to a town manager government. Reduced utilities again 20% 4 years ago. We contract with a company out of Kings Mountain. It goes through Duke's lines and then the Greenville's lines. And that was a major accomplishment. But look at Greenville's safety issue. It's one of the safest towns in North Carolina. It was at one time ranked number 5 in the state as far as being a safe town, safe community. And I want that for the entire district that I'm covering. You can be assured that I will do my best to serve the citizens of this district. I will have an office here. When I represented in the Senate, I had an office in Wilson County. One in Wilson and one in Pitt, full-time offices. I have a full-time office in downtown Winnable. You're always welcome to come visit with me like citizens do all the time. I'm very approachable. I do listen as an educator. I tell people that there's not a student I didn't like, or had an issue with. But I'll do my best.
All right. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, what is the best way at this time for them to reach out to you?
I have an office in downtown Winnowville. My phone number is in the phone book. It's an open phone. And people call me all the time. People come by and visit me all the time.
Okay, so
And,
you're very
very approachable.
Okay.
Years ago, I said, you have to have my businesses are run by different people. North Carolina Driving School has been run by Mark Smith for the last 27 years.
Okay.
I have an office there, but he's run it. I hired him at the age of 20 years of age. He's 49 now.
Mm.
And I've trained teachers for 30 years, so I know how to train teachers. And been very successful with that.
Okay. So they can reach you by, I guess, looking in, well, there's no telephone. They can Google.
Telephone book, still.
Oh, there's still
Okay. Telephone books. My email address is tonypmoore@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And then my phone number is 252-341-7457. 252-341-7457. But you can stop by my office at any time. Call my office. That's also the phone book. And you can also look up, as a way of looking up anyone's name. You can go online, key in Tony Moore, and you hear good things about me and not such good things about me.
Okay.
You never know what Google's going to say about you.
Okay. So, all right then. So, your final statement. What would you like to leave the audience with today?
Again, do not judge me on the color of my skin, but on my character, on my public service to the people of Pitt County. That I'll do the best for them. I'll have to reach across lines sometimes and do what's best for Pitt County. I'm upset. One reason I filed was because we needed money for the School of Medicine building. That was a priority. We've got to have a good school of medicine. We've got to have good doctors. We've got to have good health care. We've got to have good schools. All those are important, and especially jobs. Everybody needs a good job. I remember working in the back of the field, making very little money. Those who have education don't have to do that anymore. They have better jobs and do a better job for their family.
Okay, so I want to thank Mr. Tony Moore for coming in. He's the candidate for House Seat 8. My name is Renee Borston Hill, and just want to give you a reminder. Early voting is going to be starting October the 15th through October the 31st. General Election Day is November the 3rd. We need to make sure that all people out there who are eligible to vote, they vote. So again, thank you for listening and being part of Meet the Candidate, and we look forward to seeing you again.